All right, everybody. Here we are again, and we're still under a SIP mandate. But here's the good news. I think we're going to start to release. We're starting to see some releasing around the country, and we're starting to see a little bit more lax in that situation. So I am hoping that I could take off this ankle bracelet and go outside
Oh my gosh. I
soon,
know.
right? Because I feel like it's house arrest. I'll be honest. How are you doing, Fatima?
I think I get that feeling. House
Right?
arrest is a good way to describe this whole situation.
Does. You dealing good with it, or are you doing well with it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm in good spirits. I'm healthy. What can I say? I'm well rested. Whatever. You know what I mean?
I know, right? I don't think I've slept this much in the last 40 years, to be honest. I'm getting a little bit more sleep. I totally feel better. I feel rejuvenated, which I guess maybe this is a message, right? That we need to have more sleep than we think. So I have exciting news. And the exciting news is that as of this morning, a lot of lenders have started to release some of their restrictions on lending, number one. And then number two is that they have started to lower the rates to what they should actually be. So rates are insane. Just to give you an idea, now this is not a promise to those who are watching, but it is a promise for me to research to make sure that maybe a refinance or purchasing is the best time ever right now. And I'll tell you why, because I have clients that I'm refinancing at, get this, 2.5% fixed for 30 years. That is the most insane rate I've ever seen in my 20-year career, honestly. And this is not a sales pitch. I'm just telling you that this is reality.
Let me
So
ask.
I am excited because I've been saying that now is a great time to buy for three reasons. One, rates are artificially low. Thank you, the Federal Reserve. Number two is there's less competition, right? There's not as many people putting in offers. And then three, sellers are more apt and more willing to negotiate on price. So the deals are definitely out there. Now, don't expect 20% drop. Okay. That's not going to happen in the Bay Area. I don't see that. However, it's, I think, more in alignment with reality. So on that note, you tell me what's going on as far as the real estate side of things. Are
It's
we seeing inventory finally, or is
definitely
that
picking.
wishful thinking?
But let me ask you, hold on. Let's circle back with your 2.5. Is that so? The 2.5 is an excellent rate for a 30-year fix.
Oh,
Is
great.
there any points that have to be paid for that rate?
Not as of right now. Now,
Wow.
keep in mind, folks, when we talk about points, 1 point is equal to 1% of the loan amount.
Right.
So that fee is not a lender fee. That fee literally goes to pay the markets to buy a lower rate. On any given day, by the way, this has always been the case, but people don't talk about this. You have between 13 and about 26 different interest rate options. For some rates, you don't pay anything. You don't pay points. For others, if you want it lower, 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 and lower, you might have to pay a fee to the markets in order to get that rate.
Yeah.
So when somebody says, well, what's your rate? Depends on your situation and depends on, are you willing to pay points in order to get rates? Now, when you're buying, points are considered to be prepaid interest. So those are actually deductible. So the points are actually deductible at whatever your tax bracket is.
All right. Well, sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's excellent because we had refinance and we got a 2.75 and that was an excellent rate.
Right?
And I never thought it was, and I didn't think it was going to go down to 2.5, but you know what I mean? It's a great time.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, just a couple years ago, the rates went up to 5 from being from in the mid threes. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody is in a position and is paying, let's say, a 4% rate or 4.5% rate, it's definitely a good time to see how much money you can save with a refinance.
Yeah, and all you have to do, by the way, is just email me, and I'll give you my information at the end of this. Just email me your latest mortgage statement, and I'm going to let you know, A, can I help you? Two, does it even make financial sense? Look, 2.5%, if your loan amount is so tiny that it only makes a $2 difference a month, so what that it's 2.5%? It's not going to make enough of a difference to pay the closing costs.
Yep. Okay. Well, okay. So yeah, so I mean, just past week, I signed 3 listings. I
Yeah.
think
Oh, I guess the market's coming back a little bit.
the market is coming back. I mean, values
Right.
haven't really dropped. I mean, there are some
Yeah.
areas maybe, it all depends on the location and the house. And that's always just the way it is in real estate. But The prices, maybe there is some give in some areas, and maybe there's some negotiating in some areas. But I mean, but this past week I'm hearing, I mean, I'm seeing like properties getting taken within a few days. Properties are having multiple offers, and yeah, I mean, some of them are going over asking also. So
Oh, is that happening
that
also?
does happen.
Okay.
So I mean, it's all about
Mm.
the house and the condition
Yeah,
of
it's
the
true.
house and the location.
Yeah, location,
But
location, location. Yeah.
it's all about that. But then, I mean, with the rates going down, that gives buyers more buying power.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Rents are not, someone hasn't bought a house and they're still renting rents. The amount of money you're paying on a rent is what you could pay close to what a mortgage would be,
Yeah,
or about that. So I mean,
100%.
you might as well secure your legacy, your investment.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, are there certain parts or cities that you recommend that are looking sweeter than others? Like I know, like the Bayview has always been, a hot spot for San Francisco as an example, because it's been slower to be up and coming. But now, what is it, 3, 4 years ago, we saw the first $1 million sale in the Bayview. Things are changing. For those of you who don't know, little San Francisco trivia, in case you land on San Francisco Jeopardy, the original inhabitants of the Bayview were Italian. So if you go to the commercial side of the Bayview, you'll still see on some of the buildings the old, very old Italian signs. It's very cool.
Like Daly City, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, or a Crocker Amazon. I mean,
Yep.
it's
Crocker, Amazon, you bet. So are there certain areas, both in San Francisco or maybe outside certain cities, that you recommend for, like, for example, first time buyers?
it's so hard to say that because it all depends on the person's price point. You know what I mean? If someone says this is my budget, this is what
Yeah.
I'm approved up to, then I say, okay, let's strategize and find the best location that's going to give you the highest return.
Okay.
That's going to give you the best equity growth in the future. So we look at all that. But I can't really say that, considering there is still low inventory, but we do cater to one's individual specific plan. But just to let you know, I mean, I have a duplex that's a 7-bedroom vacant duplex in
Ooh,
San Francisco for
okay.
1.35.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. A duplex vacant in San Francisco for 1.3?
1.350.
That's crazy.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to know that, and are you still doing, like, how's the jumbo market? So what's the minimum down payment someone can do on a purchase? Let's say someone wanted to buy that duplex at 1.35. What's the minimum purchase? I mean, what's the minimum down payment that
Yeah,
someone?
it's still good. It's going to be 10%. I used to have a 5%. It's going to be 10%. As long as you occupy one of the units, it's still considered to be owner occupied. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's
Yep.
good to know.
Yeah.
So,
So we're still good there. Jumbo market's a little bit of a more constricted market right now, just because keep in mind that those aren't really insured or anything. And Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they don't buy these type of loans. So they represent a greater risk to the lender, which is why they've kind of pulled back the reins on that. But I still have them, and the terms are still very, very good, and we can close them very, very quickly. So again, everybody's different, like you said before. Just contact me, and then that way we can go over your specific shoe size and scenario.
yep, because it is specific for everybody. I mean, that's
It
what
really is.
that when people ask what the rate is, you can't really give someone a specific situation, because what's your loan to value? What's your debt to income ratio?
And what time is it? Because rates change depending on the day, and
Exactly.
also don't forget that, like I mentioned before, on any given day you have like 20 to 26 different interest rate options, whether you're going to pay points or not. There's a whole behind the scenes that people don't see,
Right. Is it a
that I do go
one?
in depth to explain, because it's important that you know.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, so anyway, so the market is still hot.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I don't know. The only way I really know how to gauge the market is really by assessing it and doing research and kind of looking at the trend. But after the stock market dipped and, everybody freaked out with this shelter in place, there was a moment, like slowdown. But I mean, I'm actually really surprised. I mean, the stock market's rebounded. It's doing well again. The people are out the woodworks, still continue with their plan to either buy or sell. So, it's so hard to ever predict. You never predicted 2.5%, 30-year fixed at this point.
No, honestly. But one thing I want to say also is that I think that when we come out of this, we are going to be hungrier than ever to fulfill some of those goals that we've had, because we feel like we're kind of behind the eight, right? The curve here a little bit. So we feel like we've kind of lost some time. We're behind a little bit on the 8 ball. That emotionally and mentally triggers an action response in most of us. Number two is, I think we're going to be more focused on things that we want to achieve. We're going to be clearer about what we want to achieve, what's important in our lives, and then also more focused on action and getting it done. This is what I'm seeing now. You and I have talked that the buyers that we're seeing now are not people are just kind of thinking about it, or I'm looking. No. I want to do it now. And those are the ones that are winning.
Yeah.
Better deals, better interest rates, better terms, better everything, because they realize that when everybody is scared running this way, opportunity typically rears its head going the opposite direction. That's where the contrarian thinking, right? But I can't express whether you're going to do it with us or not, that if your goal is to buy a house right now is awesome. I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, neither do you.
Right.
But now is a fantastic time to seriously put into motion, at least looking at what your numbers are and seeing what you qualify for, so that then you can activate starting to look at properties. And the harder you work, the luckier you look, right? When you're ready, if a deal presents itself, you can jump right on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the thing is, people go, what if the market drops? Well, I have my houses. Am I going to
Yeah.
sell? No, I'm not going to sell.
Of
That's
course
just
not.
background noise. So I'm just going to sit back, and as long as my payments are reasonable and affordable and maintainable, then I'm not going to do I don't plan to do anything. My game in real estate is long term. If someone wants to buy and sell and do that in a few years, I can't say that that's going to be a good move. But if it's a long-term move, absolutely. It always goes up. The trend in
Yeah.
real estate is always
Yeah.
secure.
Absolutely. And, very well said. And thank you for bringing up that point, because the reality is you don't lose money unless you sell. And real estate really needs to be a medium to long-term play. And again, we're going to customize, by the way, your strategy based on what your goals are. So if you're going to buy and you're going to be relocating or selling within 2 to 5 years, that's a totally different strategy than if you're going to buy a house and you're going to keep it for long term. Even if you decide that you're going to move out of it and buy another house, that doesn't mean you have to get rid of that house. You might turn your primary residence into a rental. Again, the strategy is going to be specific to you. It's one of the reasons why we love being self-employed, is because we don't have a boss telling us how to do this. We know exactly how to do this. We've been doing it a long time, and we always put your goals and your needs first. That's what's important, specifically in strategy. So how do people get a hold of you, Fatemah?
My cell, so you could either call me or text me. My cell is 415-756-4418. And you?
Mine is 415-368-1149. Best thing for me is send me a text. Let me know when I can call you, so that way, in case I'm on the phone or I'm doing one of these videos, that I can call you back up promptly. So we're looking forward to having some discussions and some strategy meetings.
All
We
right.
appreciate your time. Thank you as well, Fatemah. As always, love your insight, love your energy.
Thank
Make
you.
sure to stay healthy and
All
stay
right.
safe. Have a
Thank
great day.
you. Okay, thanks.
Take care.